Leslie, welcome to In the Workroom with Manny. It's a serious, very serious podcast where we talk about everything and anything.
Okay, thanks for having me.
I
think.
No, definitely. I mean, Leslie, I always remember the day when, I know that you knew my mom all the time, but when your previous workroom retired and we had the opportunity to start doing work for you, it was a big moment for me because everybody in our industry knows who you are and respects you. And then when I got the opportunity to start working with you, I was very excited and very nervous at the same time because Mom always spoke about you with so much respect. And but then I got to know you, and I really started looking up to you, not only as a client, but as a business person. In many ways, you always felt like a mentor to me because I could talk to you about things that that I couldn't talk about with other designers, about business things, about life things. And we had many nice lunches together over the years. And I couldn't think of anyone else to have as one of our first guests here on the podcast besides you, so we could talk about some of our history together. But the one thing I wanted to ask you, which I always found interesting, was from the first day we started working with you, I could tell that you had a different approach than a lot of the designers we work with. And I think it has to do with your background. And I want you to remind me and tell us also about your background a little bit. So
Yes, so I grew up without having any exposure to creative things.
Yeah.
I think if you're not show artistic ability as a child, you don't go in that direction.
Yeah.
Like I never really took many art classes because I still can't draw.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't have that. Yeah. So I just went along my path, and from probably the age of 12 years old, I decided I was going to be an attorney. My father was an attorney. I looked up to him a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
And that's how I went. I'd never looked right. I never looked left. That's what I did. And I went to law school. I hated it. I mean, I know some people really love going to law school, but I figured, okay, I don't love law school, but I'll probably love practicing law.
Yeah.
Passed the bar, went to a large law firm in Boston, and I was miserable.
Huh.
I was miserable. They would hand me these 200-page contracts, and I just wanted to die.
Oh, jeez.
And, I kept thinking, okay, if I just do it a little longer, I'll get to like it. And it just did not change. The things that I liked about what I did was, getting people together in a room, being really organized about having the agenda and the list and, all those things that, to move a project forward. So long story short, I was working, 14 hours a day, got pregnant with my first kid and took a maternity leave and never went back, which was a very big thing for me because I never, ever saw myself as being an at-home mom. I always saw myself being as a working mother. So here I was at home. Then I had another child fairly quickly, and I just could not get myself to go back into law. I just started really exploring things, and one day I went to some design show and met a designer, and we hit it off, and well, that was the beginning of what's now. I started working for her. Then we became partners. We worked together for a few years, and then I made a big decision in that was 1996. No. I started working with her in the early 90s. In 1996, I started my own business.
Oh, wow.
So that's 28 years ago. For the first 10 years, I had a design firm out of my home, out of the base of my home. It was pretty dismal down there. I wouldn't see clients down there, but it worked pretty well. It worked well for me, with my kids getting older. And once they were in high school, early college, I made the decision, I want to be on Newbury Street. And that's where we are. So we've been in our studio on Newbury Street for the last 18 years. And, looking back, I didn't go to design school. If I was starting in the business now, I'd go to design school because now you really have to have all the technology.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I've had wonderful people working for me over the years.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to do what I do.
Yeah.
I don't regret having gone to law school and having worked in that business because it did teach me some fundamentals about running a business, just about professionality, responsiveness, accountability, and all those things. I'm very proud that I run a business that's not just about design. That could be like any business.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, we've done so many great projects together, but I could feel that when we started working together, you had a different experience and approach than everybody else because you had that background. And one thing I love whenever we do a project for you is you have, you always have tremendous respect for all your tradespeople, and I've always loved that. And you make you and Joanna and Susan recently.
She's still here, but she's retiring next week.
Retiring next week.
She's been with me about 17 years.
I always quietly feared Susan because I felt like she was the one who you would always. I mean, you and I always had the relationship like you called me recently, and and since we moved in here, we were going through some pains of organization and getting a phone call from you and I'm sorry to bring this up, Leslie, but I have to bring it up but you kind of said to me, hey, Manny, you got to get your act together a bit, and I
but I said that in a nicer way, right?
Oh, no, you did. You said it in a very nice way. You said it in a very nice way. But I appreciated the fact that you said that to me because you gave me a chance to correct a few things that we were working on. And honestly, we've, I feel like we've gotten better at that. But it's what I love about you is that we always know when we do the job right, and we always know if we make a mistake. And usually I catch it before you do, and we fix it. But occasionally things sneak by. But I've always appreciated that. And, on the mentorship side, I've told you the story before. I love your husband, David. I got to meet him at the night of the Hall of Fame when you received that prestigious award, which honestly is an award that, this is going to sound a little bit sad or dorky, but I dream about that award because I dream about being up there. Not that I would ever deserve to win it, but if I did, I would thank people like you, thank my parents, thank the people that, and that award, I don't ever know if it'll come my way, but if it does, great. I just want to keep my head down and keep doing good work. But I got to know David, and we went to lunch together one day. You took me out to lunch. I think it was for my birthday. It was me, you, and David. And what I love about David as well is that you would never know the success he's had in business as a lawyer. And then when he recently retired, I looked up to him even more because I think I told you I was measuring at a project in the South End. I was in the classic South End bay window. And I look outside, and you had recently moved to the neighborhood, and there's David going by with a stroller with one of your grandkids. And he was so happy. And I was watching him, and I think I told you, and I may have tried to open the window and yell to him, but I didn't want to. I was worried your grandchild would be sleeping or something. So I was watching him, and I'll never forget it because it was a reminder for me, David, the little that I know him, is that he's very humble. He's very hardworking. And I remember how much you were telling me how hard he worked to also just retire, right? Because he was so good at his job. And so between the two of you, I have two people that I look up to. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I love that about him. For me, that was a vision to say, man, I really like to be there one day, walking a grandchild, enjoying a beautiful day. That was really nice to see. But Leslie, I was thinking about some of the projects we've done together, and there's been so many amazing projects. Not only the ones we've done, but like recently, you're going to have to tell us about your project in Spain, and how fortunate you had Joanna with you at the time, and luckily she knew Spanish. We definitely have to talk about that. But for me, I've always told you, and I don't want to share his name, but your client in Brookline. I always love
Newton, by the way.
It was Newton. That wasn't. I thought it was Newton.
Newton.
Oh, that was in Newton. I always thought it was Chestnut Hill or Brookline. But what I loved about his place was it felt very masculine.
Yes.
It had a very contemporary, beautiful kitchen. And all your kitchens have a contemporary feel to it. but it was very masculine. A lot of, and my favorite room was the billiard room downstairs. And we did great window treatments there, and a lot of automated stuff, a lot of just embedding, a ton of bedding.
Pillows.
But a lot of
Not throw pillows.
Yeah, a lot of throw pillows. That's right. That's right. No, that was one of my all-time favorites. The one project we did that I didn't do as much in, but was just stunning, was at One Dalton in the penthouse. But I did almost have a heart attack measuring that the one window where I had to.
Poor Manny has to get on the sills, looking down.
Yeah, that
many floors.
That was way up. And the way that was designed was the tub was right in front of the window, so I had to climb into the tub, over the tub, and then I was like pressed against the glass, and I was measuring for some stationary draperies in there. And that's all we did there. We did stationary draperies. But, I mean, of all the projects we've worked together, Leslie, I know you can't say you have a favorite, but, I mean, all of your projects have had different, for example, tomorrow we're going to Martha's Vineyard together.
Right.
I can't wait to see that project based on the history you told me about, the details.
Yeah. I love all my projects. I mean, some more than others, of course.
Yeah.
And I love that I could do something different all the time. And I always say to my clients, it's not about what I like, it's about what you like.
Yeah.
And that's the most successful. But really, when it comes down to it, my favorite projects has nothing to do with what's in the house. My favorite projects has to do with the people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've had the most wonderful clients over the years who many of them become friends.
Yeah.
Many of them I've done 5-6 homes for.
Yeah.
And that to me, when I gave the speech at the Hall of Fame, that's what I really spoke about, just about not the design.
Yeah.
Because, everyone, everyone in this business does some design.
Right.
But it's really about the people I've met, the relationships I've made with clients, with vendors, with the whole design community.
Yeah.
And that to me, when I think about my life so far, I think about that. Almost some of the projects almost get lost in the shuffle. Sometimes I have to go look on my website to see what I've done. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The wonderful people that I have had the privilege of getting to know is really what's important to me.
Yeah, I agree. That's what often comes up in the first few podcasts we've done is it's the people you come across, the great clients. And, sometimes you get tough ones too. But
and you mentioned before about vendors. Really, I can't do what I do unless I have great vendors.
Yeah.
And so to me, I have utmost respect for my vendors.
Yeah.
And they're the first ones I pay.
Yeah.
I just always have great respect for them. I know some things sometimes go wrong with everything, but we're all human, and it's really about response, and it's about just follow up, and things are always great at the end. So that's what really matters.
Yeah, no.
I'm very loyal. And I came to you and your mom only when my previous workroom retired.
That's right.
Because I'm very loyal.
Yeah.
I feel like if people show up for me and support me, then I do the same.
Yeah. No.
So
you're 100% right. I feel the same way because I have vendors too. The various hardware vendors and lining vendors, and also the employees here too. I recently hired Tim, who's the president of the company. Tim has been working with me since I took over from mom and dad 12, 15 years ago. He's always been kind of an outside business coach to me, but for me, he's been my kind of compass to make sure that we're taking care of everybody, that we're taking care of the employees, that we're taking care of our vendors. It's the same thing. It just gets...
Well, I think we all need that.
Yeah.
Because we get so involved in the day-to-day operations that we forget to look at the whole picture. We forget to think about who's around us sometimes, and that's what's really important.
There were two moments that when I think of my relationship with you, the projects aside, the projects are always, whenever I meet you at a project, I feel not nervous but excited because I feel like it's an opportunity to do it right, to show you what we can do, not to let you down. I hate letting anybody down, but especially you, Leslie, because when I do, I feel like it eats me up inside, But two moments that I'll always remember is your, I think it was your 50th birthday. 50th birthday.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
We'll leave it at that. But your birthday party was one of the best parties ever. You and David and your family really know how to party. Yeah, I was like, this was one of the best parties ever. I had the best time. But I want you to tell me a little more about receiving the Hall of Fame award, because I tend to be a little bit emotional. And when you were up there giving your speech, I was a bit emotional because you talked about your parents, you talked about your vendors, you talked about your family, and tell us a little bit more about that, getting the award. And I know you've gone back now. You've been on the panel deciding as well,
Yes,
right?
I've been a judge.
Yeah.
Yes. Getting that award was really a culmination for me of all these years of hard work.
Yeah.
And particularly since it wasn't my first chosen profession.
Yeah.
So I really felt like I had a lot to work for.
Yeah.
A lot to prove.
Yeah.
And, when I started out, I just really did things day to day, hoping that, if I ran the business in a professional, organized way and did good work, that someday I would be recognized for it. So that was really what it was about.
Yeah.
And it was a very big honor. I had my family there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my dad had passed away, recently, and I was sad to see him not, be there, because my dad was always one of my biggest supporters. But when I told him I didn't want to practice law, he totally supported that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just a great evening, and it was an opportunity for me to thank everyone and to just be involved in that design community in that position.
Yeah. No, I felt honored to be one of your one of your people there. Part of your team, I guess, right? Yeah. Leslie, you have 3 grandkids now.
I have 4.
4. Your son had a second
a 6-month-old. Yes.
Oh wow, that's right. Jeez, I remember when my Penelope was born, who's 6. I think that's when you were having your first. You had your first grandchild.
She's 6.
She's 6 as well. Yeah, I remember how I know I see David helping out like I saw him that day. Does he still help out with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love having grandchildren.
Yeah.
I hate being asked by everyone when I'm retiring. So he retired early. He just ran out of steam.
Yeah.
And he's always been the type he has a million interests, and he keeps himself super busy with all kinds of very interesting things.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, design is my passion. It's my hobby.
Yeah.
It's really everything, which is maybe not so great. I mean, I don't have that many. I mean, I do other things for sure.
Yeah.
I ski, I golf, whatever. But I mean, I don't think I'll ever retire. I guess I'll retire if people stop hiring me. Maybe that's the only way. But I love what I do. It's what I think about in the middle of the night. I had a massage last week, and on the massage table, I came up with the best ideas.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, that's just really how I am.
Yeah.
So I love being a designer. I love being a parent. I love being a grandparent. But I love it all.
Yeah.
I love the balance of them all. So I'm very fortunate to have grandchildren and spend as much time as I can, but I leave kind of the daily thing to my husband.
Yeah.
And I go off to work, and I'm really happy doing that.
Yeah. No, I obviously hope you never retire.
No, I never will. And, people do ask me that because they see David, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I am. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but the International Furnishing Design Association of New England.
Wow, Leslie.
Give me the Lifetime Achievement Award. When I got called last week, I was just so
That's great.
surprised. 20 years ago, I was president of the New England chapter.
Wow.
And the New England chapter at that time was a small chapter among, the other chapters in the United States. And I remember I had gone to a national conference talking to some other people in other chapters, and it seemed like they all had these sponsors to raise money to fund the chapter. And so I came back to our chapter and started the sponsorship program. And it's been so amazing to see this happening over the last 20 years. that this IFTA New England has become such a powerful force in our community.
Yeah.
So many, I'm very honored to be getting that. So I think I might have to come up with another speech. If you're going to be there, maybe you'll shed a few tears.
I will shed a few tears again. Well, did you see the dress code? The dress code makes me a little bit nervous.
No. Yeah, I know. I'm ignoring that part. But yeah.
I received this thing, and it's like the dress code is Met Gala themed, and they sent all these photos, and I'm looking at the photos, and everybody has hats and lace and things on, and I said, geez, what should I wear, like a toupee or something like that? I don't know what to No, I actually, I'm going to go out probably, tomorrow we're going to Martha's Vineyard together. Probably Wednesday I got to go out and get something because, I don't know, I gained a little bit of weight. My suits are a little tight, so I have to get some new stretchy suits or something like that. But
Great.
Leslie, I love food, and I'm on the road.
So do I.
Yeah.
We've eaten together.
We've eaten together. We've had ice cream together. Do you have a go-to snack that you like? What's your place that you like to go to and say, you know what? It was a long day today. I'm going to have an X today. What's that?
Ice cream for sure.
Ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Straight ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Ice cream.
I love ice cream.
Yeah, I know. I try not to have that urge too much.
I know.
But that to me is like the ultimate, refreshing dessert.
We have a place up the street from my house. It's one of those typical, suburban, small dairy farms, right? And they have the best soft serve. So anytime I'm kind of cruising through there, I have a rule. They have a cash-only line, and that's my line. Mm-hmm. So I'm always going cash-only because cash-only lines are shortest.
Yes.
So my rule with my kids is, if the cash-only line is short, we're going to do it, hit it, and then go home. So, and also they have like 6 parking spots out front. So if one spot is open, that means it's meant to be.
Right. Otherwise, you keep going.
Just keep going.
Right.
So I stopped by there the other day, and their soft serve wasn't right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was almost like chewy or gummy. I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, it was so disappointing. And that one time I want to have just a little bit of soft serve. I do love soft serve. Would you have a go-to ice cream? Do you have a flavor you love?
Chocolate chip.
Just straight chocolate chip?
Yeah, I love good vanilla with chocolate chip.
Yeah. I bet you find good ones up in Maine. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Next time you're up.
Okay. We're having an ice cream together in Maine.
Yes.
I would love that. I love hot fudge too. Hot fudge is but I don't get the nuts and the cherries and stuff. I just get...
Yeah, that's too much.
It's too much. Just a simple hot fudge in a cup.
Right.
And I'm usually going until I'm scraping the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
Leslie, that's about it. I thank you for coming out here
My pleasure.
Today. I would never ask you when you're going to retire because like I said, I hope you never do. Because I love doing. I can't wait to go to Martha's Vineyard to be there tomorrow. Yes. I do have to check what ferry I'm on, but I will be there with Jeff, and we're going to measure up. We'll get all the details, and I look forward to many more years together. And thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wonderful.